chance to win it.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Woo, sir. How we doing? Big win against Wolverhampton Wanderers in the EPL, the last match of the 2022 calendar year, sir. On the 2023
Last match of the year.
Last match of the year. It was a big one. Tough opponent in Wolves. They got a whinging manager, sir. He had a tight turtleneck on. Shoes were matching the sweater, and he was complaining to the fourth official the entire game. But importantly, all 3 points. Rashford gets his goal in the second half. Defense held well. De Gea played very well. 2 big saves, one in the first half, one in the second half. And United are back in the top 4 to end 2022. Sir, how we feeling? How you doing?
Sorry, just on a tangent. If you don't like the see you next year's or the top 10 list of 2022, you're going to die. You're going to drown in it today. Alex is going to keep saying last match 2022. Happy New Year to all American Red Devils and everyone around the globe. It is going to be hopefully a happy New Year in 2023. And what a way to ring it in with 3 points away against scrappy relegation-bound Wolves. I thought we made a meal of it. Again, there's lots of rotation, not a lot of depth on the bench. We started without our best player because, a little drama with the manager. I think he was late, overslept. Ten Hag puts him on the bench. Hard man to please, Ten Hag, and he's not going to let his informed striker show up late. So came on, scored the goal. We got away with one today, I think. Wolves, great free kick from Neves. De Gea, big save. Then the big save from the corner. Sloppy, scratchy passing. Love that winning feeling, but it didn't look pretty. And sometimes away, a lot of rotation, a lot of games coming. You got to get away with one. So a great 3 points for Manchester United today.
That's right. I think that's the motto. We can talk about the manager and the Rashford story as well. But at the end of the day, it's about getting results, getting 3 points when you aren't at your best. Today, we weren't at our best. We had some good chances. But to be fair, other than Bruno, Rashford was our by far most potent attacker in the second half. He had, he scored twice. One of those goals was overturned. But ultimately, he's in great form at the moment.
He's our entire team.
He's our entire team from a front 3 perspective because Martial. Hey, we've had challenges with Martial for a long time. Today, his hold-up play was pretty good, but he just doesn't have that kind of quick turn of pace where he can get, in front of goal.
Doesn't have that threat of scoring a goal.
Well, the shooting isn't where it wants to be.
It's like
he's finishing.
He runs around. He wears gloves.
Tell me what you really think
and
about.
And he can't score a goal. So at the end of the day, he's got to score. He's a striker.
That's what they pay him the job to do. So Rashford slept in, sir. Erik ten Hag. He's a hard man to please, but you know what? If we're going to instill standards back in this club, the kind of standards that you need in order to challenge for titles and to win silverware, you have to have high standards. So, hey, he had an arm around the player at the end of the match. He has the good cop, bad cop approach, and you know what? So far, so good. It is working. But the fact of the matter is, sir, we're heading into January. The club is up for sale. Owners don't want to spend money. We need to enter the loan market because we need reinforcements at number 9, but it's going to be an interesting one to watch because, as you said, not a lot of options off the bench. You're bringing Donny van de Beek, who probably doesn't have what it takes to make it in the EPL as kind of an attacking option, or Fred even for Eriksson. Yeah, we need some options. Loan market, something you mentioned while we were watching the game, sir. That could be an idea.
This is Manchester United. I have to remind you. Manchester United podcast and the issues at this club. I mean, you don't need to go hard in. I probably shouldn't be going hard in against Martial because he is what he is. I mean, over the last 3 years, he's shown you who he is. He went to Sevilla, did nothing, a lot of injury issues. He struggled. You can see it. He's not even in the France team when they have their best striker go down. The writing's on the wall for Tony Martial. Kind of feel bad for him being put in this spot, but why is he in this spot? Who decided to say, hey, we only need Martial as a striker for Manchester United? That is the CEO, the director of football, John Murtaugh, the guys with no experience. They looked at it. They said, yep, we have like 4 players who can play on the wing. We're going to go get another winger. We don't need a striker for the 2022-23 season. That was their call, and look where we are right now. Obviously, no one could have foresaw the Ronaldo drama. Clearly,
No
you
one-
could have foresaw the
Yeah, you
Ronaldo
could've.
drama. They could have avoided that in the summer. But the idea is that they're asleep at the wheel. No one's really running this team. And if you look at all great Manchester United teams throughout history, all the true title-winning teams, we had the focal point, the number 9, the 20-goal scorer, league goal scorer, RVP being the last one, the last title that we lifted. Is it a coincidence that is the case? Is it a coincidence you saw Wayne Rooney lights out for Manchester United when we were playing well? All the great number 9s that we had, and right now it's a black hole. Rashford's coming off the left. We have Antony on the right, and look, I hope Tony turns it on and scores 20, but it is a huge problem. You look at City, arguably City aren't as good as Arsenal right now as a total 11, but they have the better striker. That could be the difference to win the league. That is how we pipped our title in 2012, 2013, if people remember that far back.
No, it's a good point. But just to have a little perspective, take a step back. Obviously, goals win games, defense wins championships. At the end of the day, last season we scored more goals, but our defense was all over the place. We have shored that up, right? I believe De Gea is second in the league at the moment with clean sheets behind Pope. He's playing well. The defense is conceding far fewer goals, and they're playing as a unit. And on the attack side, you're absolutely right. We are chasing goals. Our CR7 did have a nice contribution last year. This year, Rashford's picking up. Martial isn't quite there. Anthony, he started strong. He's faded. And ultimately, that's where you need to reinforce in this squad. But at the end of the day, you have to keep in mind as we head into January, we are basically in a lame duck administration. If you're going to make like the analogy to U.S. politics, it's like the Manchester United board, the front office are going through the motions at the moment. They're just trying to execute a sale. So, like, they're not going to be doing much to kind of shore up the team between now and whenever that ends up getting resolved, which who knows? There's noise in the press about a Q1 deal. I'm skeptical. I think you're skeptical. We'll talk about it when we get to the news. But at the end of the day, it's like all we can do is kind of back this manager and hope he can get the most of his players, because it's going to be a kind of before the Glazers and after the Glazers kind of moment, because we have no idea who's going to be the owner come June 1st, and that will kind of dictate, like, how the next couple of years go, by and large.
Absolutely, but you have to look at how this team is being run over the last 2 years, and even Rangnick coming in January. We needed a striker last January. We were looking at Julian Alvarez. He had a great World Cup. I don't think he's the guy, but we need bodies. You arguably need 3 strikers. Last year, we had Cavani. He got injured. Wanted away in January. Then you had the Mason saga, obviously not playing or will ever play for United again. And Martial went on. He wanted out, went on loan. We needed a number 9. It was so clear what we needed. Midfield number 9. As far as a right winger, obviously right now we need him because Jadon Sancho is not playing or not fit, etc. But we have our attackers dropping like flies. We're spending the money, but that hole continues to be there for United. And look how far behind the 8 ball we are. We need 3. We literally need 3 strikers. We need so many strikers. Number 9s, goal scorers for Manchester United. It's going to be a tall order for us to get through the rest of the season and get top 4 with what we got to date.
No, of course it is. No, there's no doubt about that. That speaks to the need of having a top-tier director of football kind of balancing out the will of the manager, because, like you said, we have spent a tremendous amount of money, probably £200 million over the last 2 to 3 years on right wingers alone, between Ahmad, Facundo, Jadon Sancho, Anthony now, and at the end of the day, we haven't replaced our number 9, kind of de facto number 9, top money, top buckets since Lukaku. I mean, that was 5 years ago, and we probably didn't have, other than Ronaldo's last season, we didn't have a de facto killer at number 9 probably since fucking Zlatan. So at the end of the day, we need to reinforce seriously in that position. We need a stopgap. We need an Odion Igalo in January. Just like I said, keep this ship moving. Give us every chance to finish in the top 4 with this
That's
manager.
what we need. We need to
we
be
need a
able
body.
to make a run to top 4. And it's like
Ivan Toney, Mitrovic, anybody.
It's like the
you said,
bucket with too many
Alvarez
holes.
would have been fine, dude. He would have scored goals in this team.
We never really patch up this team, and that's the motto of the Glazers. It's like we finally fixed the midfield. We're starting to see wow, Bruno's creating shit. What a midfield. We get that hole fixed, and out here, we get number 9. Oh no, it's but that's life under the Glazers. That's how they run this team, bleeding this team dry. Quick PSA for the podcast: if you like the American Red Devils and that hot Muppet take up at 4:30 a.m., getting you the podcast right after the match, sir. Please check out our Patreon page. Support us on Patreon. We don't have any commercial sponsors. We just want you guys to support us directly. We think that is the way we should be doing it in 2023. Check out our page, patreon.com/America Red Devils. Tons of benefits. Meet other fans like yourselves. Be part of the real MVPs of the pod. Also, check out our website, americadevils.com, our store, americadevils.store. All of our great merchandise. It's great prices, quality stuff. Everything you buy supports us. So if Patreon isn't your jam, grab a scarf, grab a hoodie, grab a shirt. Support the pod. Again, small-time operation, sir. We're just yammering on the couch. Up way too early. That's how we do. Tell them about iTunes reviews.
For fans, by fans, baby. Up too early all day. iTunes reviews or 5-star reviews of the American Red Devils podcast. It's a great way to support the pod. It helps us get found organically by other fans like yourself. And even better, we got a brand new giveaway. We're giving away free Glazer Out scarves. Keep that momentum going until they're gone, sirs and ladies, because they ain't gone until they're gone. Here's how you get one. All you have to do is write a 5-star review wherever you listen and send a screenshot to AmericanRedDevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I'll personally pick, pack, and ship a free Glazer Out American Red Devils scarf. Send it right to your door anywhere in the world. We mean it. Just get those reviews. And here's a great one from JGGG. Glory, glory, Man United. By far the best United podcast out. It's nice to have such a great podcast to listen to when there's not many people for me to talk about United. I wish I could have found this sooner for sure. Thank you so much, JG. Appreciate all the great 5-star reviews. Keep them coming, sir. We are talking about Wolverhampton Wanderers against Manchester United 1-0, Molyneux Stadium. Trap game. It had trap game written all over it. 4:30, New Year's Eve. You knew the local fans would be up for it, but like I said, we didn't play perfect. We didn't play great. But winning ugly is an important trait for a team to have. You got to be able to win when you almost don't deserve it. I mean, we played better than Wolves, but we didn't play like we've been playing.
Win, baby, win. Manchester United 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. It don't matter how you do it unless you get 3 points. That's what that badge, that's what that jersey's all about. It's about winning at the Molyneux Stadium, having a laugh, probably the worst dressed opposing manager in English Premier League
Tell me
history.
about it. He was widget. I'll tell you what. He's bringing the La Liga Premier League.
He's got the brown sweater way too thin. Then he's like trying to show the belt buckle way too hard. And then he's matching with these shoes, and the laces on the shoes are way too long. This guy.
He wins the whole time, too. He wins.
And the watch, he's like going aggro watch. I mean, like, I don't know how you could get a team up wearing that type of outfit, making me feel better about the
our outfits,
the Ten Hag turtles, the turtle suit Ten Hag outfit. That don't make no sense unless you're in the Netherlands. Apologies to the Dutch, but that fashion sense. Who knows? Let's get into that lineup. Dave says world number 1 in net. Put some respect on his name. Give him that extension. My man, David De Gea. Love the haircut too. He's got the fresh fade, making great saves. He's big. He's brave. That is Spanish Dave. Molisi at left back. Luke Shaw, center back. Varane, center back pairing with Luke Shaw. The impossible meat pie center back. Wan-Bissaka right back. Casemiro, Eriksen midfield. Bruno Fernandes as well. Does it get better than that? No. Garnacho. Martial, I'm not going to say it. Anthony on the right. So there we go. What do you make of that 11?
The big surprise for this one was Martinez. He got back in right after the game, the most recent game before this game. He got back from Argentina. He didn't feature. Same back four. They've been playing well, so that wasn't a huge surprise. It's Rashford, right? He's our most potent attacker at the moment. Great form. Scored last game. Assisted last game. And he's nowhere to be found. So that was the big, shocker of this one. Otherwise, it kind of picked itself.
Also, Luke Shaw getting the center back shot when Maguire's healthy and Lindelof's healthy. That's better.
He's better than both of them.
Well, you could also say that these are...
He is.
We're playing at relegation sides. We're going to have a lot of the ball. He's much better probably playing with the ball than Lindelof or Maguire. Obviously, it's a sad sight to see, but credit to the manager for making big calls at the back and it making the difference, because I do think Luke Shaw had a really good game for United and not missing Lindelof and Magoo back there, because when you look at that midfield, Casemiro, the job he was doing, you can get away with Luke Shaw at center back, and that's great insight from Erik ten Hag, has to be said. First half, jumping right in, 6th minute, Casemiro's header pops over the bar. Nice service from Eriksen's corner. 16th minute, Garnacho is on goal after Wolves give it away. Saw saves well, but Garnacho should be scoring. A little rusty for Garnacho. Regardless, he's a youngster. He's getting good minutes. He looks quick, dangerous. That final touch, pass it into the net, tap, tap, tap it in. That is what is missing for Garnacho and makes sense for a youngster.
He's a young kid. We got to give him time. This is why, when people were like, well, he should be starting week in, week out. This is the kind of growing pains that comes with being a young player and getting thrown into a big match like this. Tough opponent. And his touch was a little off today. Same as the previous match. He wasn't looking as sharp as he has looked, but he's getting in dangerous positions, and he has the gumption, likes to take players on, which you love to see, right? We haven't seen enough of that from Sancho. At least Garnacho always has the bit between his teeth and, is just taking on players, even if it doesn't always come off. Confidence is good to see.
24th minute, AWB with a big block on Moutinho. He's coming in and doing a job. You love to see that from Aaron Wan-Bissaka. 30th minute, great chance for Tony Martial, but defender gets there first. Should be doing better. This one, Bruno creating an amazing chance, and it has to be said, even our last match, Bruno putting it on a plate for Tony, and he's not able to do the business. Looks a tad unfit. Maybe he's been, eating some meat pies.
I love a good meat pie. So, I have to agree, not as sharp as he can look, not as sharp as we need him to look, because this was a terrific ball from Bruno. He had another great game, continues to just produce so well in this side, especially with those midfielders that he's playing alongside. But if he gets this ball, quick shot, it's a goal. Rashford, probably at number 9, scores, at least gets a chance on, but he doesn't even get to the ball. You got to do better.
But it's like he's not playing to his strengths a little bit. He's should be playing in the French league. He's playing on another level, right? And thinking that is going to do it. He's definitely a touch off. Ronaldo was touch off on the pace, but I felt like he tried to make up for it and kind of knew where he was. I think Martial thinks he's fast in his head, but he's actually not. And this is kind of where you're starting to see the disconnect with Tony, because that sort of slow hold up is just not working. And you saw Rashford come in the second half, boom, makes the right touch, so much quicker, dangerous. Right off the jump. 37th minute, another chance for Manchester United. Anthony headed chance right at the keeper. That price tag. Whew. Wouldn't want to be him with those frosted tips right now. 46th minute, Martial whiffs on a golden opportunity off of header at the end of the first half. United, we talked about a lot of chances. There weren't too many, and I felt like we were letting Wolves into the game after the 20th minute. They kind of we looked sloppy, looked scrappy. And the only real chance I thought that was clear-cut was that Martial from Bruno, and should have been a goal. No, also the Garnacho.
The Garnacho chance, that was a big one. Anthony, there's a lot to do in that opportunity. Also, the 45th minute, Martial, it was sloppy. The ball was kind of just pushed across the net, and he had a chance to just muscle it home. But the game was stretched. This is why I think Shaw was a great choice, because Lindelof and Maguire don't have the pace that Luke does. And they had chances to break, and I think we shut them down a bunch of times. We did some good tactical fouling throughout the game to kind of slow them down when they tried to break at us, especially when they brought on Traore. So, like you said, you have to give a shout out to the manager. He's got $120 million of center backs on the bench just chilling, and Luke Shaw is continuing to perform there because, he's a good option. He's got the pace, and he's a great passer of the ball.
Look, shout out to Luke Shaw for coming in, doing a job like Swiss Army knife. Second half, Rashford on for Garnacho. Hey, he's disciplined, but not for that long because we needed a goal here. 53rd minute, another save from Saw on Anthony. Nice ball from Bruno. Bruno is creating it, but our forwards are not scoring it. 58th minute, Dave saves. Great save from a free kick. This one should have been in. Neves.
Oof. He's got a free kick on him, huh?
I know. He's got a free kick on him. And Bruno had one before this that was just horrible.
That was the worst thing he did all day. That free kick was
oh, my God. It's still flying down from the rafters at the moment. 61st minute, Fred for Eriksen. We need a goal. The manager's bringing on Fred. I definitely disagree with this one, but he's got to be thinking about all the matches we have and the fact that, we need Eriksen to be playing every single one of them.
And he looked a little tired, to be fair. This is definitely one that's a head-scratcher on its surface, but Fred... The game was getting stretched. He could break a play a little bit in the middle of the park.
Did he?
Yeah, a little bit. We scored. We scored.
I don't know about Fred doing a job, but we'll see about this one. How long do we have to wait? 76th minute. Magic Marcus coming on.
Everyone knows it just hasn't worked for him at Manchester United, but Can he do something here today? I wonder, in the last 15 minutes. Tyrell Malacia, bit of space for him. Marcus Rashford. Rashford cuts in, goes for the return. Rashford still going. Rashford, brilliant. Manchester United's main man, Marcus Rashford, the half-time substitute, showing that Manchester United need his inspiration. They lead by a goal to nil.
Brilliant, fantastic goal. Out of nothing, really. Absolutely top-class finish. Lopetegui trying to applaud his players and trying to get them back up off the ground, but it's a brilliant Marcus Rashford finish this. Picks it up wide, immediately comes inside as you would expect. There's the give and go. Once he rides that challenge from Nathan Collins, then you always feel he's going to end up in the back of the net. Collins comes out.
Stiff arms Collins into the turf. Savage. Like absolute boss play from a player who's in boss form at the moment. Marcus Rashford getting the goal for Manchester United, and that's exactly what we need. Looking like an 80 million pound man.
Looking like a 180 million pound man, sir. Great ball from Bruno Fernandes. Great hold up and physicality, strength of Rashford to hold off the defender on Wolves' side and just body him. You know, it's like he could go down, he could try to make a meal of it. It's like, no, you hold him off and you bury it, and you get the go-ahead goal that we needed so badly in this game. And he looked electric. Like that, what Martial was lacking in the first half, which I think really is the acceleration, like that startup speed where he's just kind of slow to get off. Marcus has it in bunches. Like he looked so electric in the box and just so dangerous, sir. He's a hell of a player. Sign the thing, Marcus. Sign it.
We'll see. 81st minute sub. Donny on for Martial. 84th minute Rashford scores, but disallowed for handball. 94th minute. What a reaction save from David De Gea at the death from a Wolves corner. I mean, he saves the day again. 2 big saves from David De Gea. A great goal from Marcus Rashford. That's 3 points. But again, you like to see United do it a little easier than this. Maybe get that second goal, but obviously VAR clawed that back. Manchester United get the 3 points. Sir, it is on to Cincinnati. Look at this.
Cincy? Who's got Cincy? Is that Ronaldo going to Cincy? Cincy FC?
On to Cincinnati. That's the motto here. Looking at the stat sheet, Manchester United 16 shots to Wolves 10, 6 on target to their 3. We had 54% of the ball to their 46%. Overall, dominant performance from Manchester United. And Rashford has scored 5 match-winning goals as a substitute, the joint most in Premier League history. And Rashford has scored 12 Premier League goals as a substitute with only Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Chicharito netting more from the bench for Manchester United in the competition. But what do we know? Let's just check in with the mad Dutchman. My best player, bench him. He's a minute late. Let's go.
Congratulations, Eric. If there was ever a way for a player to make amends, that was it today with Marcus Rashford, wasn't it?
Oh, I think it happened often, but it's good. After decision, he coming in, he was bright, he was lively, he scored a goal. That is the right reaction.
And is that the end of the matter? Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
But everyone has to match rules and values. And if you react like this, this is the right answer.
Is this the message that you've been getting through to the squad? You want? It's not just about reputation; it's just about discipline and teamwork.
Yeah, we have seen today. Once again, it was not an easy game. You have to fight for the points. First half, we were not that good in the game from organisation here, but definitely also from presence. Second half was, in my opinion, better. I think also good come in from Fred. He make a good come in, he bring energy in the game, he was holding balls, he was linking up, and he was winning second balls.
Yeah. What was wrong in the first half then? Why was it so disjointed?
As you have analyzed the game, you have a game plan, but sometimes things are not working as we expected, and they did well. But the good thing is, they didn't create that many chances, and we did. But you have to be sharp, meaning of the first goal. And we had the chances to score that first goal. but we didn't score them. And that was also, I was not happy in halftime. I've told the players, with this attitude, you will not win this game. We have to change. Everyone has to deliver 10% more.
But you came out
10% more, so that's a
100%
low
more.
number. I'm not happy. Look, he kind of calls it out. I'd say we had more chances. Yeah, I don't know, but he gets his boy Donnie in, compliments Fred, and Rashford gets his goal. So at the end of the day, let's just on to the next one.
That's it. This is an important 3 points because we could have easily lost this game. We could have easily dropped points and drawn this game. Importantly, we kept pressure on the teams above us because they ain't above us now, they're below us, and that's Spurs. They dropped points. They drew this game week, and we got the win. And it just, dude, they're so important. It's like we talked about it throughout the game because we were frustrated and concerned that we might not win this match. And you just have to be winning these matches against shit side because Wolves at the moment are a dire side. Dire. And they were trying to get that new manager bounce. He's trying to lean into that turtleneck. And we swatted him away, sir. Marcus Rashford had his moment.
It is after the holidays. We do check the table. It is Arsenal, the Gunners. Yes, I did not misspeak. They are in first place with 40 points, and Arteta is their manager. Can you believe it? Man City in second. Surely they will win the title with Erling Haaland scoring a record number of goals in the Premier League with 35 points. He's unbelievable. Newcastle. Who could have seen that? Who had the chance to sign him like 3 times other than Manchester United? Newcastle, 33 points in third place. They will surely regress as well. Manchester United, 32 points. We probably will regress given our bench. It just seems to me that we are so light in the attacking side that you're going to see a little bit of gravity here. It's all to play for. Tottenham in 5th, 30 points. Liverpool, the Scouse Bastards, 28. Brighton, 24. Chelsea Scum, 24. Love to see it. Harry Potter, how you feeling, mate?
Sir, you know what? Headed into the new year, this is probably as good as United fans could have expected, after how last year ended. So we're in a position to finish in the top 4. Like you said, I think it's going to be dependent on our ability to bring in somebody. Like even if it's like, we're calling back Amad Diallo because he's tearing up the championship at the Stadium of Light for Sunderland.
But we doing nothing.
We're doing nothing. Like I said, we're in a lame duck. We're a lame duck right now, bro. The Murtaugh and Richard Arnold are just trying to get this fucking club sold immediately to the highest bidder and keep the lights on because, I think we're more worried about running out of cash than we are about like strengthening in January.
Yeah, if you've seen this movie before, it's like new owners come in, they can those idiots, and they're going to be like, well, the Glazers are so bad. It'd be like, now you say it. It's just like Must. Must was negotiating the share deal with the Glazers. Now the Glazers are going to sell, and they're like stuck out in the open. They're like, oh, well, we hated the Glazers the whole time.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you were going to do a non-voting share scheme that would just literally fund the Glazers' debt and support their horrible ownership. So it's just one of those things where you're going to see everyone's true colors flapping around, flip-flopping after they sell. You love to see it, but remember everyone's true colors, and the true colors of this podcast have always been green and gold because we have shot you straight on how bad the Glazers
Get
are.
your scarf.
Get your scarf, AmericaDevils.store. Sir, just the last thing we leave before we finish talking about the table. As Alex famously predicted, Fulham is now officially top 10 side in the Premier League.
That was Villa, and they're 12th.
Well, I can't keep track. But,
You can't get your
top 10.
All my top 10
Wolves
teams.
top 10. Everyone's
They're
top
coming.
10. Wolves are top
That's
10.
the end of
top
season.
10.
Wolves are not top 10.
Gotta bring the top
Wolves
10
are not
back.
top 10. Brentford are not top 10. Nottingham Forest is not top 10.
The Villa
but
top
it's a
10.
competitive
Well,
league.
okay, Villa's still not in the top 10. Villa top 10 watch. I
They
think
will
it's going
be,
to be
so
the
they're
new theme.
They're 12th
on the
They're-
podcast.
they're
Villa
12th.
top
This
10
guy
watch
was
over
talking-
here.
Yeah, I'll
We
tell
got
you
a
what,
next
if I had a
match.
list of every take you've gotten
We
wrong,
got a
I would
next
run out of
top 10
time. I
Villa
run out of time.
side.
Top 10
10.
Fulham side, top 10 Brighton side, top 10. You don't even know what side we're talking about.
Top 10. We got a next match. They
Bournemouth?
are not in the top 10.
Not
It is
in-
Manchester United versus Bournemouth at Old Trafford, Tuesday, January 3rd, noon Pacific. You'll love to hear the noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Lifetime versus AFC Bournemouth. They were down. They're back again. We've won 12, drawn 3, lost 3. Formerly Eddie Howe's men. He sold his soul. Now he's up at the Tyne. First time we ever played Bournemouth, 1949. Manchester United versus Bournemouth and Boscombe Athletic in the FA Cup. We beat them, slapped them 6-0. Last 5, we've won 4, lost 1. Usually it is tough to play away in Bournemouth in the South Coast, but they are coming to our house. We have dominated them, last time being July 2020 when they were relegation bound. We beat them 5-2. Coming into this game, they've been clapped by pretty much everybody. Newcastle beat them 1-0. Chelsea beat them 2-0. Leeds beat them 4-3.
They beat Everton. They bossed poor Fat Frank.
They beat Everton EFL
twice.
And they beat them in the league. So, but again, you can't be saying Everton are our comp, Chelsea beating them, Newcastle beating them, Leeds beating them, that we should be dispatching them in very easily. Hopefully Rashford doesn't come late to a meeting this week.
Slept in. His alarm didn't go off. I've been there, sir. We've all been there.
You feeling confident about Bournemouth?
I am feeling confident about Bournemouth. You know, the road games are more challenging. The early games, you know, New Year's Eve, I'm sure there's quite a crowd at the Molineux, but like I feel like Old Trafford, it's slowly coming back to a place where a little bit of fear factor. We need that. It should be a fortress. It should be a place that people don't want to come play because they know the fans are going to be in full voice and the players are going to be full of confidence. And I think, like, I mean, the thing is, defense is not scary. We got Dave Says in that. He looks super solid this year. Our back four is, like, interchangeable. AWB had a third game in a row that was good. I thought today, if he was going to be due for a drop-off, it would have been the third game. You know, that's like when you see a drop-off for a player that's getting thrown back in the mix. And Shaw is interchangeable. We also have, like, Martinez is coming back. So that gives me a lot of confidence. We know the midfield's fucking great with our starting three. You know, arguably second best just behind City in terms of a midfield. But it's the goals, dude. It's like we don't have Marcus. There's not goals in this front three without Marcus Rashford scoring goals.
He's streaky too. You know, I give him about 10 games in form. It's not like we're going to be able to ride him all the way. You know, it's not like a Zlatan. Rashford does have it. He could be that. It's just how his contract situation, you're going to be seeing him probably the best of Marcus because he's going to be trying to earn top dollar. And that's another side of it that we haven't talked about. Like that contract is going to motivate him.
Contract boost.
Can we keep him? Again, the front office of Manchester United, leaving that one late. We've seen that bite United before. Like Ander Herrera drinks Estrella by the caster. Probably should have kept him in the midfield at Manchester United. Probably a better option than Freddie. But, you know, another famous one we bottled on the contract front, and he went to PSG. That could be a sign. Maybe Marcus flirting with him, talking to him, worried about it. A little history about Bournemouth. Formed in 1899 as Boscombe St. John's Institute. The club adopted their current name in 1971, nicknamed the Cherries. Can you get a better nickname than the Cherries? Bournemouth have played their home games at Dean's Court since 1910. Their home colors are red and black striped shirts with black shorts, inspired by that of Italian club AC Milan.
When I watch Bournemouth, I really think AC Milan. You know, that's the first thing that comes to my head.
AFC Bournemouth's honors include winning the second and third tiers of English football, the Associate Members Cup, and the Football League Third Division South Cup.
I haven't won much.
They have not won much. Their best form was under current Newcastle manager Eddie Howe. They've risen through the football pyramid, which is the beauty of English football. And the 15-16 season was their first ever in the top flight, and they have come back. So credit to Bournemouth playing the 5-3-2. They're going to be packing it in at Old Trafford. Injuries for Manchester United. Lissandro Martinez still hungover from the World Cup. Scott McTominay sick. Jadon Sancho, where in the world is Jadon Sancho? Apparently he is in Manchester, not playing. Ten Hag did comment on that. We will get to that in the news. Given those injuries, what is your lineup?
So I'm not making too many changes, just a little bit. De Gea in net, of course. I'm going to stick with AWB as the low fights that hamstring injury. I'm going to put Martinez. He's ready with Varane. Shaw out to left back where he is top player. That midfield picks itself. Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno. Rashford on the left. Martial up front. Anthony on the right. I think that's all we got for the moment. What about yourself?
It's the exact same lineup. I no BS on this podcast. I'm not going to pick a different player just because that is the lineup for Bournemouth because we don't have anybody else, and that is a sign of the times at Manchester United. You'd love to see João Felix coming in tomorrow and then playing here, but I doubt it. Booking the bookies, what do you got for Bournemouth?
United, the favorites, minus 360. The draw at plus 480, and Bournemouth, big underdogs at plus 950. Sir, what's your score prediction?
The draw is probably worth a punt. You saw today, you know, Bournemouth's more frisky than Wolves. I'm going to say 1-1. you saw De Gea coming up big. Wolves are not a great side. It is at home. You'd like to see us just like Anthony with the brace.
He's due.
You know, Garnacho with the goal. I just think this is going to catch up to us at some point. Maybe I'm just pessimistic because I watched last season. But I just think we're due for a dud against a team that we should beat.
Well, Bournemouth would be that dud. 14th place, Cherries. You know, you almost think that they're in the relegation zone because nothing that notable is happening with them other than them getting bought by, what's his name? Wallace from The Wire. Sir Michael B. Jordan is a minority shareholder now in Bournemouth FC. But I'm going on a tangent. Score prediction, I think 2-0. I think United do the job. Nice and easy, but, I ain't going to be easy. I agree with you. It's like defense is holding, midfield is holding, but the goals, they seem to be in short supply at the moment.
Martinez coming back will be good. And like you said, Ten Hag deserves credit for, sorting this ship.
No
Let's
doubt.
get into the news. United in the news, sir. We're going to play a little audio here. David Ornstein, apparent new Glazer mouthpiece Muppet, talking on our transfers in the sale for Manchester
They're all
United.
Muppets, so they're all
Here we go.
Muppets.
Here we go.
I don't think there's much money to spend at Manchester United, so I don't want to disappoint fans, but it's most likely going to have to be a loan deal. Interestingly, they had admiration for Cody Gakpo. They almost signed him in the summer window. Erik ten Hag is a massive fan, but United are focused on a central striker for January, and they see Gakpo as primarily a wide forward. And therefore, they also are looking at somebody like João Felix, if they can do that loan deal. And there'll be a number of other options as well. But I think we need to remember, with the United sale here, the Rain Bank, who are in charge of this process, they're aiming for a complete sale of Manchester United in the first quarter of 2023. And therefore, the Glazer family are not going to be willing to sanction a massive outlay of cash on deals at this time of the year. I think Manchester United would always prefer to do their business in the summer. And I do think Erik ten Hag is quite content with what he has, but he would like, as he explained after the match the other night, to add in that forward line. And the only name I'm hearing primarily at the moment is João Felix, again, if the numbers come down on a loan basis. So it's a very interesting situation. And you've got to watch this space on that takeover, because it could be coming very soon, and it will be a seismic moment in the history of Manchester United, because so many supporters have wanted a change in the hierarchy at Manchester United. They've had so many changes on and off the pitch, but now it could go to the very top. And if Rain Bank, who are leading this process, get their way, it's going to be a fascinating few months ahead to see who takes charge, who takes the reins at Manchester United and leads them forward into the future. Erik ten Hag's doing a good job on the pitch, but what's going to happen off it is perhaps the most fascinating question.
Fascinating question. David Ornstein hits a few points. João Felix loan deal, if they come down in price, that is definitely coming from the top of Manchester United. And he's also
No money.
singing the song of the Rain Group, Q1 2023, telling you when they want to sell the club, saying it could come soon, creating this urgency. Like, as far as the deal goes, advertising the deal, advertising the time of when the deal is going to be closed, it's an interesting move. We did not see that with Chelsea. The process was disclosed on when bids were due and the different stages of the process. We haven't heard anything like that related to Manchester United. So is there a process? How many people are in? How many people are actually serious? The Rain Group did a good job with Chelsea. It's going to be interesting to see with Manchester United. Obviously, Manchester United, public company, Chelsea, private company. But there's a lot to be digested there. Him also saying the party line of, like, we're not going to spend a lot of money during the sale. For anyone that knows, enterprise value, market cap plus debt minus cash. You don't pay for the cash, so spending cash actually does nothing to a sale, doesn't affect it at all in any material way. The capital structure is reset when someone purchases the club. So at the end of the day, they could buy players, they could move players, they could do anything they want, and it would not affect the sale at all. So the idea that they have to do nothing, the reason why they're doing nothing is the club's absolutely broke. And credit to David Ornstein, who actually did call out the true debt at Manchester United. Like, we've always talked about the transfer payables, the obligations due in the next year is like upwards of £900 million. So the club is indebted, all these structured transfer deals, etc. So that's probably more of an issue for the sale. it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. But this whole like narrative around Felix and we can't spend money, I'm not buying that, as well as the Reign Group saying you got to get your bids in by Q1.
No, I mean, let's look at what they actually did. At the end of the day, they canceled or paused the dividend, and that just speaks to the fact that they ain't got the money, because that's the same kind of money that you could be spending on a young, up-and-coming striker that kind of fit in, challenge Martial for the spot, and hopefully contribute with some goals. Loan noise makes total sense. You know, I think they want top dollar loan fee. They want like £8 million plus his wages, his wages paid, of course, which is standard. He would be a player that would slot right in. Could make sense for us. On the sale, you know, I am trying not to get too excited. I think he's trying to puff it up, talk about like, oh, the sale's coming, Q1.
But saying
imminent.
soon is he doesn't know nothing, and he's
No,
calling
that's
it the
the-
Reign
well,
Bank.
let me-
It's not the Reign Bank. It's like
an
they're an
advisory group.
investment.
They're an advisory group.
The Reign Group. They're an investment bank.
That's
It's
all
a
right.
different
They're not
thing. It's like
finance
they don't-
guys.
I know, but that's
So-
where they're. I think the problem with the journos is they're tripping over their skis with the Glazers' finances, which they have done forever. And he's just saying whatever the Reign Group and the Glazers want him to say. So it's kind of obfuscated for our listeners. I'm trying to cut through the BS. Because at the end of the day, like, if there's a big time bidder and it's going late, you're going to hear that thing. You're going to see that stock price move.
No, of course. But at the end of the day, we don't know where the process is at. They're posturing to act like, you know, a lot of people involved and it's imminent. I'm, like I said, not getting excited. I think it's a longer process than that. I think they're still courting bidders. I think they have a deviation in terms of what the Glazers expect to get versus what the club's actually worth at this current point. And at the same time, loans, you know what? This club is never going to spend a lot of money this January because they ain't got a lot of money to spend. They're just trying to keep the lights on and not run out of cash at the end of the day. So this is going to be big pressure for like a numpty front office to see how many kind of creative loan deals they can actually pull off because they know that they can be fleeced, right? Like we paid $85 million for Anthony. Like they know they can get a deal out of us. So I don't see Atletico pulling back on their loan fee because I imagine there's going to be, you know, other demand for João Felix of the world, especially on a loan from Arsenals who, you know, want a little firepower to push and try and win a title. So we'll see, sir. Everything's still in play. You know, front office, I think it's just going through the motions. It's all about the sale. It's all about the deal.
I agree. João Felix ain't coming. Like that's my view. He's going to Arsenal. Like, why would you come to United right now? Like, Arsenal's probably is in the chance to, you know, win the league. It actually comes down to Atleti and like what they're going to accept and who will pay the most money. And usually United get just hosed on these deals. So the idea that we could just pay the most for them, and we're desperate just to give red meat to the fans during this period of time. Like, United needs somebody. We absolutely need somebody. They got to do something. So from a January transfer window perspective, like they literally need to do something. As far as a club sale is concerned, the issue when you're selling an asset like this is price. Yeah. It doesn't come like Chelsea arguably was like bid up to $4 billion, right? So these clubs don't sell very often. Chelsea, you know, under Abramovich has won a lot. It's London, etc. I think that demands a premium. United is starting at like 7 or 8 billion, double Chelsea, and then you have to look at the club and be like, you need a new stadium. That's $1 billion. You need new training. That's $500 million. That's the conversation that is being had right now.
Squad needs a lot of money.
It's the price is outlandish, and there's so much money that needs to be invested that I believe the true problem with the United process isn't saying they're like, hey, $4 billion bid it up to 6. Right. They're actually saying 7 or 8, and like there's so few people who could even get close to that, and those people are haggling with them right now because of all the money that needs to be invested. So the real issue with United is when a buyer comes in, you look at Chelsea and you're like, yeah, you argue they need a new stadium, but they don't need it. It's not falling apart. They have a very deep squad. The plan is sort of there. It doesn't need as much investment. United need billions in. And that, I guarantee you, is the holdup in this process, is because if you were to look as a buyer, seriously look at this club, it's probably $1.5 billion for a new stadium. It's probably $1 billion in the squad, plus half a billion for Carrington.
Yeah, you need a whole new front office.
That's $3 billion in addition to the 6 or 7 that you need to get the deal done. And that when you're we're throwing out the bills, like it's so much money that's why I think this deal has a lot of hair on it. And when you have a lot of hair on a transaction, it's gonna go up and down and sideways, and nobody knows where it's gonna go. And that's why saying Q1 23 makes no sense to me.
Yeah, because they probably don't have a buyer, and they're just trying to puff it up and act like, you know, it's still a hot asset. You also have the $1 billion in debt, right? That basically washes out the equity return for the Glazer family. So they have to like overcome that $1 billion, right? If they're going to spread out the money amongst the 5 kids. So that's also an element to probably pushing that transfer fee up. That's the big thing. It's like, I can see the Glazers like sticking their fucking heels in the sand because they're stubborn. We've seen how stubborn they are. And they're also delusional, right? Based on just like how they interact with the press, things they say to the press. That like you said, like they have this idea of what the club is worth. And at the end of the day, the market is going to set what this club is worth.
There's interest in United. Like there's interest, just not at this price.
Right.
That is the problem is the Glazers' greed, right? I mean, the debt is always there. I mean, like actually the debt that they use, they like has given them an insane amount of return, like the returns from when their dad bought it. So it really just comes down to they're greedy. Like they want a bill each. That's basically $7 billion gives each Glazer $1 billion. They were looking for something like insane. The problem is the Glazers' greed in the sale. And I'm trying to make sure the fans understand the dynamics, what's going on behind the scenes, because I feel like you're just getting this real vanilla Q1 23, could be anytime soon pitch from the journos, and it's a very, very complicated transaction because of where the asset is, how distressed it is. You have to look at it's like buying a house. It's like if you buy a house and you're looking at the price and it needs a new roof and the garage is falling over and leaning and like there's liability here or there, it's a different type of transaction than looking at plug and play London, Chelsea, just a different situation. It demands a premium to Chelsea, absolutely, but the money required to invest in it might make it close to that 4 or 5.
100%. I mean, there's a huge amount of money that needs to be spent on this club to even get back, it pains me to say, to where Chelsea was when they were bought, because they just won the Champions League within the previous 12 months. Like you said, the stadium is probably in better shape than Old Trafford. I mean, Old Trafford is not in good shape when you go there. And then they have the extra pizzazz of being a London club. Obviously, they don't hold a candle to Manchester United and the type of reputation that we have globally, as well as our history and our fans. Yeah, you don't have to tell me, sir. But I think it's like you said, it's like the greed of the Glazers knows no ends. Like these people, like all they care about is money and putting money in their pockets. And, that could be the sticking point. Like Chelsea, Abramovich, he had to sell. The buyers knew he had to sell. And, United,
Glazers
you look
have
at the
to sell too.
They do.
They do have to
they
sell.
can always, I guess they can always put cash in.
At least he said that.
The storm.
They got to sell the club. Ornstein said that. Full sale. Full sale.
Q1 23. We're exploring a process.
No money down.
What did he say in the Middle East? We're exploring a process.
No money down. And speaking of like parts of when you look at the asset of Manchester United being distressed, one of the big money makers, one of the revenue making, predictable cash flow earning, like number one, the shirt sponsor for Manchester United left. And we're pitching new deals. And part of the issue is that if you don't know what that shirt sponsorship is worth and it's in flux and it's been going down, a buyer is not going to give you full ticket value for that. They're going to discount the value of United shirt when they're looking at a process. And that's kind of when you're like, hey, well, you got some mold over here on the wall. And actually, this isn't that good either. That's what's going on. And when United's pitching Visit Saudi on the front of their shirt, it ain't good because you know what?
Ain't good. It ain't good, bro.
This club is an institution, and institutions like Manchester United should tread carefully as far as selling out their values. And looking at that Visit Saudi on the front of Manchester United shirts makes me nauseous.
It's brutal.
Come on, man. It's just like, really? You're just going to go full ticket? That's what the Glazers are. They have no soul, and that's why you saw Chevrolet to TeamViewer to now Visit Saudi. It's like, what type of club are we? What type of values do we have? This is an institution, and we need someone who has some leadership that will get us back to basics, because it's just like whore out the brand at all costs. And the rumor is Saudi Arabia turned it down
because they wanted too much money. Because United wanted like top ticket. They wanted what Liverpool got for the standard charter renewal.
And they said no.
And they said no. And you know what? You're absolutely right, sir. But this is exactly who they are. This is exactly who they are. And they showed it even during the Fergie years because they were whoring out the brand left, right, and center. Every fucking noodle company, tire company, vodka company, shitty airline, they would just sell out the brand for whatever because it was all about making money, bro. That's all they've ever cared about. They never cared about getting the most out of the club. creating a sport entity that can kind of compete at the highest level. It was about like pulling as much cash off the table as possible and like selling out the fucking naming rights to Saudi Arabia unless they're buying the club. Unless the Saudis are buying the club, it makes no sense to have Saudi Arabia on the front of your kit because, bro, like you think I mean no shame to Zimbabwe, but like you think Arsenal like having those like visit Zimbabwe on the it's just like
It's Rwanda.
Sorry. Either way, it's like, you know, that was a shady deal. Having Saudi Arabia as like kind of the big picture advertiser on the front of our kit, you know, we did have AIG, but like that ain't good luck for nobody.
AIG, yeah, but like a financial institution that over levers and
like-
explodes into
Yeah,
like a
committed,
million
like,
pieces,
pseudo
like
fraud.
you know, nobody like that's not like bone sawing journalists.
They
to
can
death,
buy us.
like,
They
you
can
know,
still buy
so
us, by the way.
At the end of the day, like yeah, but you should have like brands that are institutions need to have standards, and they should be not just selling like taking blood money to the top dollar, and that's what United are doing, and that tarnishes your brand. And honestly, you look at that badge. You look at the Manchester United badge, and it don't mean what it meant 10 years ago, and it doesn't mean what it meant 10 years ago because of what they're doing it. Going all the way back to the storied history of this club and where we've been and where we've come from, it's like they've done serious damage, and they intend to do that until the 11th hour before this club is sold, to do whatever they can to get like another half turn on the EBITDA for Manchester United. Next bit of news here: Jadon Sancho's return to Manchester United. This is revealed by Erik ten Hag. Jadon is back at Manchester. Wow. He will start individual training. His return, it's not the time now. We're making good progress. We will see when he's ready to return to the squad. As far as what's going on here, nobody knows, but can't be good news.
No, anytime a player that was around for preseason hasn't suffered a serious injury and then is like off by himself training when the rest of the team is doing a warm weather practice with tune-up matches, and also you spent, £73 million, and he's like the third highest player on the team. It's bad. It's bad for everybody. There's been rumors of a mental health issue involved in it. We don't know the circumstances. We're rooting for Jadon Sancho, but like it is not good when the player that you spent all this money for and was, even before Erling Haaland joined the squad, he was contributing at a high level, completely fall off. And then you've seen so many players just like rebound with so much force and conviction, i.e. Rashford, i.e. Dalot, under this new manager, right? Love him or hate him, he's a fucking stubborn bastard, but you could tell under certain players that he's gotten the most out of them. And like Sancho is the opposite. This is worrying.
Sorry, it's not a good look, and we need to get what is he worth now? What is Jadon Sancho? If
30?
Sancho doesn't want to play, what is he worth? Like
30?
Can you even sell him?
Probably. That money? Actually, no, he can't, because he's on fucking like $15 million a year, so you can't sell him.
And Alex didn't even want to talk about this one on the pod just because I
start with a blowhard from England.
Yeah, we're going to start with the famous interview from
That was
Piers Morgan.
only a month ago, by the way.
A month ago. Here we go. This is that's why you don't do big interviews with Piers Morgan.
No soccer.
Is it also that you want to keep playing at the highest level? That you want to play Champions League football? You want to keep breaking records? Is it, again, it comes back to my gut feeling about you that if it was just about money, you'd be in Saudi Arabia, right, earning this king's ransom. But that's not what motivates you. You want to keep at the top.
Exactly, because I thought I still believe that I can't score many goals and help the team, because I still believe that I'm still good and capable to help national team.
Is it also that you want to keep?
Look, it doesn't age well.
It ain't good. That was a month ago.
Messi winning the World Cup in between that.
And him going to the Saudi League. Speaking of Saudis.
No, Ronaldo signing Al Nasir. Never heard of him. Don't know who they are. Didn't know they had a league. But he's going to go there for £200 million a year. What gets you Ronaldo? $200 million a year. I can't imagine it's a great league. Ronaldo played well for Manchester United last season. He wanted to leave to go play Champions League football. It was all about records and playing at the highest level. He said that a month ago. Now he's going to go take top dollar. This is, speaking of brands,
his brand's taking a hit, bro.
Honestly, speaking of brands, it's like he's going to get paid a lot of money, but this isn't a good look for Ronaldo. Messi wins the World Cup. He's probably going to go to Inter Miami in the MLS at some point. It's going to be a big shine in the USA. His brand's going to be
Never been bigger.
Never been bigger. The draw is never going to be bigger. I thought the move for Ronaldo was like maybe Sporting for a year or two, play in the Champions League, then go to the MLS, have this face-off with Messi. That would be great. Then maybe go to Al Nassr, but for him to jump now, very bizarre move. Don't think it's a good look for him. Even as a fan of Ronaldo, I think this is kind of the end. It's like a sad ending. You kind of saw him like young coming up at United, great player, phenom, goes to Madrid, dominates, then kind of starts getting troll FC at Juve, comes to United, then throws his toys out the Prem, does this weird interview where he says it's not about the money, and then a month later he goes and takes this giant deal. And I just don't think he has good people around him, honestly.
Well, that's been true for a long time. Sir, you know,
I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble, and I don't want
You
to be
love
in big
this.
trouble.
What do you mean? You don't
sir,
you hate Ronaldo.
I don't want to be too like glib about it.
Come on, give it. Like, the fans want it.
First of all,
like give it
who
the
misses-
hot take, baby.
I love.
Like,
I'm really a big fan of the new manager, but let's be honest, his press conferences are a little like toast with no butter, a little stale, a little dry. Fucking Jose, he was like so. I mean, he was a lot of baggage, but his pressers were such hitters.
no, but like give
This
it
is
to
fitting.
Give
This
it
is
to
a
the
fitting-
Ronaldo
the
fans.
narcissistic maniac that is Cristiano Ronaldo. Dude, he turned me into a fan again last season, and then he like pissed in the fucking punch bowl, acted like such a prima donna,
Let him have it.
like he was such a big
Get it.
deal, and he is a big deal, dude. He's one of the greats, not the greatest, but
Not
he's
a good look. It's not a good
It
look.
makes him look like. Dude, all I care about that money.
It's a sad
especially
look.
when
It's a
he has
bad
gone
look.
out of his way beyond this interview. Even this interview with Piers Morgan never took place 5 weeks ago. He has said multiple times, nothing but the money. Like, dude, and you're going like to a place that doesn't even have. They've had the football league starting in the 70s, bro. It's like they had to play the World Cup in Qatar, which is a neighbor of Saudi Arabia, in the fucking winter because they can't play the summer because it's like
How long does he
130
last? How many seasons does
All
he
of it,
do?
bro? Because he's going to be involved in the Saudis' bid in 2030 to win the World Cup, and that's the deal, bro. They already got Messi on board. They got the other top player of the generation on board, and it's all going to be about full court press with Infantino, who's like somehow even more corrupt than fucking the other guy, Blatter. And this might do it, bro. I think if you have the FIFA on your side as well as Messi and Ronaldo in the bid to win the World Cup in 2030, even though it is directly against the FIFA bylines that neither the CONCACAF or an Asian host can have the World Cup in 2030, that gives you a real shot.
Well, it's because he'd be dual hosted with somebody else to get him out of that rule, or there's gonna be something.
There are loopholes, bro.
So there's no
loopholes.
rules in FIFA. There's no rules.
Well, there's rules until they change the rules to benefit them.
Yeah, like we said, despots and dictators in FIFA, they're meant for each other. That's just how it works. Like, look at the Olympics, China, Sochi, like Russians, like doping like crazy. Like, international sport is just generally corrupt. It's just how it works. It's just the way it's going to be until some like great people rise to the ranks and figure it all out. But it doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon.
It's only getting worse, by the way.
So the argument from the Ronaldo fan, I can't defend the move. It's a sad move. It's sad.
It's like that interview was sad. It was a sad interview. It was a sad move, bro.
The interview, like,
it was a disaster, bro. He looked.
it got him out of the
embarrassed
club.
himself. It did.
Like, I could see the interview getting it. Like, what this move makes me feel like when he used to use United to flirt for more money.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's how kind of scummy it is. It just got a bad.
Well, he's a scumbag.
Like when he used to like.
Let's be honest.
Be like, oh, I'm gonna come back, and then
all
like,
the time.
sign a new
You
deal.
bought that like for years.
John
John bought that.
But that's like scummy, and this is a scummy.
Well, he's
it's
a
a
scumbag.
very scummy move, and the fact that Messi wins the World Cup.
Woo! And that photo.
I mean, that was
photo
also
looked like he
like-
got kidnapped, bro. The photo was like. It looked
I
like.
know. Yeah, you could have thought like, well, it's too hot to go outside. But the little respect for Ronaldo, and this is kind of where I kind of think he has some in the tank. Go home to Portugal, go back to your boyhood club. Like
That would've been
last
cool.
season, most Premier League Player of the Match awards, most Manchester United Player of the Match awards, Manchester United's Player of the Year, Manchester United's top scorer, Manchester United's goal of the season, and he was in the Team of the Year for the Premier League. He had a season. And he went like full narcissistic maniac, Piers Morgan. It's not about the money. It is about the money, and
It's
just like
about that
lost his
money.
mind. Like, and so spiraling out of control. Cristiano Ronaldo, don't like to see it. But on a better news, Sir Alex Ferguson. It is his birthday. Happy birthday to Sir Alex Ferguson. We thought we would commemorate his birthday with his farewell speech, which obviously includes talking about all of his honors, which, if the Ronaldo move makes you feel scummy or happy in Alex's case, this will cheer you up right quick. Sir Alex Ferguson, farewell to Manchester.
One man who's been part of the tapestry of the history of this club has won 5 FA Cups, 4 League Cups, 10 Charity Community Shields, 1 European Cup Winners' Cup, 1 European Super Cup, 2 Champions League titles, Intercontinental Cup, 1 FIFA Club World Cup, and 13 Premier League titles. The impossible dream made possible by the greatest British manager ever, Sir Alex Ferguson. I've absolutely no script in my mind. I'm just going to ramble on and hope I get to the core of what this football club has meant to me. But first of all, it's a thank you to Manchester United, not just the directors, not just the medical staff, the coaching staff, the players, the supporters, it's all of you. You have been the most fantastic experience of my life. Thank you. I have been very fortunate. I've been able to manage some of the greatest players in the country, let alone Manchester United. And all of these players here today have represented our club the proper way and won a championship in a fantastic fashion. Well done to the players.
Little happy birthday video makes you remember where we came from. And boy, when you see the only shirt left standing, Philly Jones and David De Gea still at this club from that moment, 2012, 2013, take me back into the rain at Old Trafford, sending off the greatest manager of all time because, man, I haven't had a feeling like you go back and you're like, what happened? Like, what happened to us?
Nostalgia, bro. It's all we got.
It's all we got. But it's HD, though. It's HD. At least it's HD.
That team,
you
bro.
can feel it in HD.
The fact that he was winning titles with
dude, you saw Anderson. It was like
Anderson,
Danny Welbeck, Philly
Danny
Jones.
Welbeck, who was
Come
cleverly, bro, and he was winning titles. The greatest of all time. What a manager! We were blessed to have him under the reign for 27 years.
Is
Legend.
it a coincidence he won 13 league
Lucky.
titles and then
30.
left?
We're
And
gonna
then
have
now
a
we're
30-year
gonna be
drought,
like,
bro. What do the Scouts have? They have a 30-year drought. We have a 31-year drought.
And at least I cut him off before he said, back your new manager. David Moyes. All right, fan questions.
David Moyes, he got that one wrong.
You got him back.
I'll tell you what, he got that one wrong.
Manager. He takes Glazer's money. He
Still does.
He
$2 million a
hasn't
year.
criticized them. He was, he protected them. So like he
Love
deserves.
Fergie, but he whitewashes them in all his books.
Yeah, but here's the
All his
deal.
books.
It don't matter because he won
that's
13 titles. He can do whatever he wants, sir. His job was to win. He won. As far as what happens above him, come on.
That's that.
At Rolling the Deep, 1995. Sirs, what would we do without David the Goat? We went really quiet during long stretches, but were rescued by Rashi and Dave against a gritty Wolves side. We certainly need to be more clinical in front of goal. We need that clinicality, or we're going to regret these missed chances. On we charge into the top 4. Boy, is it weird thinking about winning 13 titles and then getting excited about top 4.
Top four is the bar, sir.
David De Gea has saved us.
Speaking of legendary press conferences, pour one out for Louis Van Gaal's army. Hey, David De Gea, when you need him, he's there. He had 2 huge saves, one in the first half, one in the second, and Rashford comes on and shows his class. Most dangerous player on the pitch by a mile, but we need more of that. It's like he's not going to be able to carry the load by himself. We need more productivity up front. Where you at? Where you at, John Murtaugh, Richard Arnold? You guys in Barcelona trying to get another midfielder? How about a right winger?
Get another paella. At Red Devil Woody, 3 points in the bag. Not the greatest performance today. Rash bangers with another goal. BS handball call, but I'm a Muppet, so who knows? Hashtag Glazers out. That one, what the VAR call was right, because I think it's like anything off the hand that goes in the net is
No matter what, right?
no matter what.
Yeah. There you go.
Handball rule is all over the place.
It
There.
is all over
I
the
do
place.
agree,
With
but
penalties and
that
stuff?
was a handball because he even motioned his hand towards the net too after it hit it. But if that costs us 3 points, I'd obviously be on the full Muppet side. At M Hersey 5, great to get 3 points, but what a terrible game to watch. Pretty clear we need position upgrades, primarily a true number 9. Hopefully the scumbag Glazers will be gone soon so we can start to rebuild our club. Hashtag Glazers out.
Hallelujah.
I mean, like 70 minutes in, after waking up at 4:30 in the morning, me and Alex are thinking the exact same thing. Glad we broke through. Rashford is in great form. Without him, we'd be in a real tough spot. And right now we're sitting pretty in top 4. So let's just hope the Glazers are gone and Ten Hag can hang on to that 4th spot. That's like really where we're at. It's not a great, after the limbo last year, it's not great to be in this position with like limited players and trying to get top 4, but like we're
checked out front office.
Trying to sell the club. So you look at Chelsea last season, it was a rough one. So it's going to be very similar. But let's just hope Rashford, his form continues on. And at Katie Me 324-08331, this is the interview to Ten Hag. Quote, reporter, were you worried about the reaction to benching Rashford? Ten Hag, I don't care about the media. I care about the press. There you go.
Is that like the press? Like
I
the
think
pressure?
the
Like
press. I think
hey, you know what? Like, this is his show. We don't have a competent front office. It's all on the manager. It was the same as Fergie. He did have an Alex Gill around him, so it wasn't quite the same level of numptitude. But it's all on the manager. Ride or die by the manager.
Numptitude. That's a good word.
You like that one?
Yeah, I like that.
You know, came out of the last minutes.
Clinicality,
Clinicality is a class.
numptitude. I like numptitude.
But you know what? He's managing these personalities right. It's like you got to get the most out of these guys. We had a terrible last season. He puts an arm around the shoulder, but he's like a no nonsense manager. Working for Rashford, Sancho not so much, but win some, you lose some, I guess.
All right, that's it. That's the podcast. You want to support the America Red Devils? We are for fans, by fans. Check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/America Red Devils. Check out our website, americadevils.com. Fan-generated blog content. It is awesome. Check out our store, americadevils.store. Great hoodies, beanies, scarves, everything you need for the winter. Rep this club. Support the pod. Write a review. You get a free scarf. Alex will ship it to you himself.
That's right.
Please support us. We need it. We're a small-time ragtag operation. If you can't tell so far, that is who we are. Alex, top 10 downloads last 7 days.
Number 1, how you doing? Carmel, Indiana. Charlotte, North Carolina. Jasium, Norway. Appreciate you. Santa Clara, California. Buffalo, New York. Atlanta, Georgia. San Francisco, California. Canyon Country, California.
Canyon Country.
Appreciate you. London, England. And last but not least, Austin, Texas. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. We couldn't do it without you. Whew! Hell of a year. 2022. Put it in the bag. 2023. On to the next one. Time for some fucking silverware. Let's go. 10 years since Fergie retired. We're due, sir. We're due.
Does it make you sad or happy watching that video?
Both.
Both. Nostalgia. Yeah, Speaking of nostalgia, we have a great song for you. Who?
Lots of whites, I can't sit up, geeks and all the rest.